Meeting go, what did you decide? Have you a number of factors you want to concentrate on to help workers from Molex?
Well, we had a very positive meeting this morning, all against the backdrop of which is a very human, emotional day for the workers, which you can understand. However, we did have a number of actions that we have decided on, and the first is to set up a core group within the auspices of the Regional Enterprise Plan Committee, and those key people will coordinate the response to the job losses over the coming period. We're also going to have a skills audit of all the skills that are available in this area, and there is a rich pool of talent here from the old premises that they worked in, so there's a rich pool of talent. And the third thing we're going to do is set up a jobs fair so that people can see what other jobs are available in this locality. So can I just say that there are jobs available. In fact, we were told that there's in terms of manufacturing, there are 30% of the jobs are in that space that are available. People are looking for talent. So I think that all in all, it has been a very positive meeting. The fact that 30 people, these are very busy people, all came together this morning across the local authority, the Enterprise Ireland, IDA, the universities, the Chamber of Commerce as well, and a number of other stakeholders were able to cancel their meetings and be here at this meeting this morning was very important.
Are there jobs specifically in this area, I wonder, in Shannon? There's a lot of concerns about Molex, obviously, following on from liquidation in Avara, concerns about post-Brexit connectivity to Shannon Airport as well. Will this group you set up and this specific focus, will it look at Shannon and the industrial zones around it in particular?
Well, what we agreed was that we will certainly be promoting Shannon as an area that is a good place in which to do business. There's a lot of positives here. There's a highly skilled workforce, and that is so important when you're trying to attract new investment into the area. The first thing they ask you is, have you got the skills, and then have you got the premises? So what we will be doing is we will be working closely with the company at a local level here, and that's what the core group that we have set up, the core committee, will work locally here. We'll see what opportunities there are for people in terms of jobs in this region, and there are jobs because we are at a point where we're at full employment in this economy, and indeed it was said in the room there that this has happened at a time, a much better time than say 10 years ago when there was huge unemployment.
But is it getting harder, Minister, to get people to create jobs and to employ people outside of the cities? Because I'm conscious you'll be looking for someone maybe to take the Molex premises. If no replacement was ever found for Roche in Clarecastle. You mentioned the success of Edward Life Sciences, but they chose Castletroy and Limerick instead of Shannon to locate.
Well, just to be clear now, Edward Life Sciences still have a very strong presence here in Shannon. And
I think it's 60 jobs here, and they're opting for 600 in Castletroy.
Well, when you live in the region, as I do as well, and in rural Ireland, people are willing to travel a reasonable or a distance to ensure that as long as the jobs are in the area. So I'm sure there are.
Oh, I know that, and I understand, but I'm conscious. There's a lot of concerns around the airport in Shannon about post-Brexit connectivity. Is there a good future for this free zone where you are today?
I'm absolutely convinced there is a great future for this area. There's a lot of very important key stakeholders at that meeting this morning, and every single one of them are committed to making sure that we provide the jobs in this area and that we get further investment in the area. And we had the new CEO of Shannon Airport there as well. We had the Chamber of Commerce there. We had other stakeholders.
Any representatives of staff from Molex, or will you meet those staff today? Because they're just down the road from you here.
Well, I think we have to be very conscious that this is a very difficult and a very emotional day for the workers there, and I'm sure the last thing they want to see is the Minister for Business coming in to visit them. They have a lot of things to cope with, and the Department of Employment and Social Protection will be available to work with them on a one-to-one basis, to provide the supports that are there, to provide new skills and provide new training through the skills forum. So everybody is here ready and willing to help. But we must bear in mind the jobs aren't going to happen the job losses aren't going to happen tomorrow. They have a bit of time to come to terms with this. So we will be working with the company as well and the local management here to find out what opportunities are there and how we can transition them into new job opportunities.
You respond specifically, Minister, to Novaris news this morning in Cork. 2 very bad days for job losses. It's really bad news for Cork and the Midwest.
Yes, well, this is a bad day for Munster, there's no doubt about that, with 2 job losses, which is disappointing. But nevertheless, there are many opportunities in this area, and I'm confident that we will find new jobs for the people. We'll also be working with Novaris as well in terms of the lead-in time is a lot longer for the job losses. It initially starts with 16 next year and then out to 2023. So we'll be engaging with them to see are there other opportunities where jobs can be created, as we will also be continuing to engage with Molex as well, because I spoke to their CEO and he's willing to meet with IDA to see are there opportunities here where we can have further investment. So as somebody said at the meeting this morning, if the show's not over until the light is switched out, and we have a journey to go, and we're going to be working very closely through IDA with both of those companies, both in Ringaskiddy and here in Shannon, to see are there any opportunities for further investment.
Minister, 10 years ago, you'll be aware that there was a big job loss announcement with Dell Computers. It's probably the single biggest job loss in the area since Dell. In the wake of that, a jobs task force was set up with Dennis Brosnan at the helm. Are you doing anything similar following this? Will there be a jobs task force?
Well, what we have here now is the Regional Enterprise Plan, and we have a committee in place. All the key stakeholders are there, so we have the structure. So they're going to have a core group initially to deal with these job losses and to work with everybody. So I think that we have all the structures that we need in place, and we're going to mobilise those. And everybody is willing to work and put their shoulder to the wheel. And I was very impressed with the collaboration and the cooperation across all the agencies, and it was really a good meeting. And the committee will be chaired by Barry O'Sullivan, an absolutely wonderful man who is doing great work in terms of his own company, but also what he gives back to this region as chair is exemplary.
How does this differ from Dell 10 years ago?
Well, the difference here is that we're at a different stage. In terms of 10 years ago, unemployment was at 16%. We're now looking at unemployment of 5.2%. So there are opportunities and there are jobs out there. So it's about matching the skill set that we have in the company with the jobs that are available. And there are many jobs available in that particular area.
Minister, have you been briefed by any of the jobs authorities or industry that there may be more losses coming down the track?
No, I'm not aware of any, and as I said, we will be working closely with both companies in Ringaskiddy and here in Shannon to see what opportunities there are. And I did speak to the CEO, Joe Nelligan, of the company here in Shannon, and he said very clearly that it was absolutely no reflection on the dedicated, committed workforce in this region that they made that decision. The problem is the product that they are producing here has reached its end of life. There's no longer a market for it. It's not profitable, and they have to close down the operation. And they said that it was with regret that they were making this decision, because this was their first plant in Europe, and they set up here in 1971. But he has agreed to meet with us, and we will go we will travel, and the idea we'll have a meeting with them in Chicago. So, as I said, there are opportunities, I'm sure, and we'll work with them. If there are, we'll get them here.
And it was reported that the Chinese-US trade war was a factor in the closure. Is there any truth in that?
No, I'm not aware of that. What we are in Ireland is a very, highly competitive area in which to come to do business, but we're also an open economy, and we trade and we compete in a highly competitive global market, and these decisions are made in boardrooms across the world, and these things, they make these decisions, and sometimes we have the good days and sometimes we have the bad days, and unfortunately today has not been a good day. But I think that there is hope, and there's a lot of positivity in the room in the meeting I've had there recently, just a few minutes ago, and I feel that by working together that we will be able to find new investment for this region, and we'll be able to find alternative employment for the people who have lost their jobs. And just remember, what they're going through today is not easy, and our thoughts are with them.
And would you be confident that it would be an employer to the scale of what we're losing?
Well, we will continue to market Ireland as a good place in which to invest and do business. I'm just back on Sunday morning from a trade mission in Japan, and certainly there's opportunities there. I've travelled 4 times in the last year to the Asia Pacific region, and there are companies that are interested in investing here in Ireland. But we shouldn't forget our Indigenous sector. We have wonderful Indigenous companies, and we are through Enterprise Ireland and through the local enterprise office here, we'll be supporting them. Some of them have been affected in terms of they are sub-suppliers into Molex, and we'll be working with them also. But our Indigenous companies play a huge role in terms of creating employment right across the country, and I'll be shortly launching a new SME strategy on how we can further support give further support to our local Indigenous companies.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Good job.